My father wasn't in my 21 female life growing up. He left my mom and me when I was 2 and refused to pay child support. He quit his job when he was tracked down for support and he spent time in jail rather than pay. Eventually, Mom stopped fighting because it was going nowhere. She felt like it was wasting resources chasing after him when it was apparent he was going to avoid it however he could. A couple of years ago, he moved about an hour away and I saw him for the first time since a court appearance when I was 8. We didn't speak either of those times, but it surprised me when he returned. I learned from my paternal aunt that he was married and had more kids. He'd contacted her and wanted to reconnect, and she told him where to go. She was always disgusted. He walked away like he did and refused to support me financially. In December, my aunt told me he'd gone to her house and left something for me there. I asked her what it was and she said she had no idea, but she said it was in an envelope. I opened it and it was a check, and it was a big one too. I tried giving it to my mom, but she told me to keep it and he owed me, that he abandoned me and it was the least I deserved. I tried telling her she deserved it more, but she wouldn't even entertain the idea. So, after confirming it was legit, I lodged it into my account. Then his wife came looking for the money by going to my aunt's house for me. My aunt made her leave and I wasn't even there, but she showed up a few days later when I was there and she demanded the money. She said it was money that was meant to go to her kids, that he had no right to drain their accounts for me. I told her it wasn't my problem, and my aunt threatened to call the cops. She showed up at my aunt's house again a few days later, and my aunt followed through and called the cops. But apparently this woman left the message that I was selfish and entitled, and I stole it from her kids. Am I the idiot for not giving my estranged father's wife his money? Not the idiot, you stole nothing. Her kids have been supported by that deadbeat all their lives, as she doesn't care whether you're dead or alive or if you have food to eat or clothes to wear. That's all the back child support that deadbeat owes you, as your mom said. You are entitled to that money and did not steal anything from anyone. Keep calling the cops every time she shows up. She chose to marry and have kids with a deadbeat who ghosted his own child for 19 years. Karma has finally found her address. Yes, tell her to go pound sand and get a restraining order if need be. The gall of her to ask for that is insane. Not your monkey, not your circus. Your absent dad is definitely the idiot for you, and it seems like he's being the idiot to his current family as well. But you're no less entitled to that money than they are, and his current wife isn't entitled to harass you or your aunt over an issue she has with him. Your aunt was right to involve the police. She should do it again if it happens again. Take your mom out for a nice dinner and then use the money in whatever way is best for you. I wouldn't be so harsh on this poor woman. While I'm not suggesting that OP should give back the money, I can assume that deadbeat's dad was an idiot to her. OP could still call the cops but say, sorry, he left this money for him of his own free will, and any issue you have with him should be taken with him directly. Wouldn't it be harsh to this poor woman? Say sorry? This girl does not owe a mea culpa to that woman. OP, if she had a legitimate claim to the money, she could make it through the courts. She's harassing you because she probably doesn't. Save the money for your future. He gave it to you, so it belongs to you. Don't respond to this woman at all. If she continues to pester you about it, get a restraining order. You owe her nothing. A bit more than a month ago, my ex broke up with me out of the blue. I don't want to go into the details of the relationship or the breakup, but we'd been talking about marriage before the breakup. We'd settled on the wedding bands and the engagement ring. I'm by no means well off and arguably live paycheck to paycheck, but I always manage to pay my bills, save money and budget money for fun. Concerts, fancy dinners, trip to Ren fairs, cons, rallies, random events, etc. While still doing all this, I managed to put aside several thousand for the engagement ring she wanted. After the breakup, I decided to spend that money on myself. I bought myself my favourite bourbon and a case of my favourite cigars and finally finished a large tattoo sleeve I'd been working on for 2 years. The issue came when I started casually seeing a young woman, let's call her Dee. I knew Dee before I met my ex. Still, we were more acquaintances than anything else, just due to life stuff, and honestly, because I only had eyes for my now ex from the moment I first met her. Still, we knew enough about each other that she was familiar with the fact that I'm not one just casually to throw money around. Since this money wasn't budgeted for anything, well, not since the breakup, and let's be honest, I'm heartbroken, I've been a lot more willing to just say, heck it, and spend money. Tonight I met Dee for dinner and drinks, and during the drinks part of the evening she noticed my fresh ink and jokingly asked me if I'd gotten promoted or hit the lottery. When I explained to her where this money had come from, She got really serious and told me that spending it like that was disrespectful, that I'd saved that money for something beautiful and by wasting it, it proves I never cared about my ex. Dee ended up leaving me at the bar because she was upset with me. Maybe it's the fantastic cocktails blurring my judgment, but am I the idiot for spending my money? Hey, so Dee sounds kinda crappy. Using the money from the ring picked out specifically for the ex who broke up with you for something that will bring you a lifetime of joy, almost a decade later and I'm still positively giddy about my sleeves, is disrespectful? What the heck were you supposed to do? Hang on to it until you're 97? Then travel out to the middle of the Atlantic and drop it off the side of a boat while remembering that time you slept with Leonardo DiCaprio? What a bizarre thing to get upset about. It wasn't her relationship, it's not her ring, it's not her money, and it's not her ink. Absolutely not the idiot. It sounds like you dodged a bullet fired from the Schwerer Gustav. I wonder what would have been next, giving you crap for scattering a loved one's ashes when you should have baked them into a pie and eaten them so that they could have become part of you. Dee is clearly back crap crazy. It's your money, darling. Go to Disney and fly first class if you like. Man, Dee is not it. I'm 1000% making an Olympic leap of assumptions and judgments here, but it feels like Dee is upset that you aren't saving the money for an engagement ring and may see it as you not taking a serious or long-term interest in her. If you were, you wouldn't blow your engagement ring savings. Dee seems psychotic. Run, friend. I, 35 female, have 3 children enrolled in extracurricular activities. My oldest daughter, who's a young teen, has played softball for years. I live in a smaller town, so I know the other girls' parents and we're well acquainted. I even consider a few of them friends. We take turns having big, huge sleepovers for the girls at our homes, and this weekend was my daughter's weekend. We'd never discussed what we should do and shouldn't feed the girls, just allergies and such, so I didn't think there were rules. My other child is also in sports, and I've never had complaints about this either. I've hosted these sleepovers before, but not this season yet, and there are a few mothers who are newer parents to the team. Anyway, I bought the girls pizza and breadsticks, and pink or regular lemonade was offered for dinner. I also had a lot of snacks, mostly chips, but I did bake some brownies as well. The following day I had just got a lot of Dunkin' Donuts. It's 15 girls I'm feeding, so I figured it was easiest because these types of things feed a lot of children. My children don't normally eat like this either. I was just excited for the first sleepover at our house this season. Anyway, I've gotten some complaints from the newer moms who have joined the group in our group and have said that I shouldn't be loading their children up on sugar and junk food and that their kids don't eat like that at home. I replied that it was a sleepover. It was supposed to be a fun event for the girls, so what was the big deal? That offended them. They accused me of undermining their parenting and said their daughters wouldn't be coming to my daughter's sleepovers anymore unless I decided to feed them better food. This caused an argument because, like I said, no one has ever mentioned what they feed the children at these sleepovers, and there were never any rules. I thought it was fair game. I then again said it was just fun food, it was a slumber party, and a few of the other parents agreed with me. A few hours later, that mother replied in our group chat that her daughter would no longer be coming to any events at my home since I couldn't see that fun food was just a different word for junk. Then they called me a lousy mother for feeding children up with that crap, then left the group chat. Am I the idiot for feeding my daughter's softball team junk at our sleepover? Edit, I've heard pizza before as well, and I know one of the dads grilled hot dogs and hamburgers. I'm not sure about the rest, and no, she hasn't hosted yet. I'm going to go with not the idiot here. These moms never communicated any dietary restrictions to you, and as a parent, it's their responsibility if they're letting someone else look after their child for a night. And honestly, you're correct. Sleepovers are supposed to be fun. These are supposed to be bonding activities for the team, and stuff like this is supposed to be a treat. Also, you're feeding 15 children. I don't blame you for taking the easy option of pizza and chips. Maybe you shouldn't have argued with them and simply said you'd provide different options in the future for the girls, but what's done is done now. I can't think of a better way to give your young teen daughter an eating disorder than to harm her relationships with friends and declare a mom war over pizza and donuts at a sleepover. These moms sound like pills. Not only do they never lighten up and let their kid have a little junk, but now they won't even let their kids hang with their friends? And they're criticizing you? These women sound awful. I mean, it's just weird. We don't let guests dictate our adult party menus. Seriously, it's pizza, not cigarettes. and a donut one morning isn't going to destroy a child's health. These moms will be in for a rude awakening when they unleash these teens into the wild unless they plan to cook for them perpetually. A little pizza never hurt anyone, especially when you asked about allergies first. Thanks for hosting all those girls. I'm sure they were grateful. Sorry the parents had a bone or pizza to pick. I have 3 kids with my ex-husband Elliot, 28, Emily, 21 and Joseph, 19. Emily and Joseph still live at home while they attend the local state university. 3 years ago, Elliot married his high school girlfriend Madeline, 27, and they have 3 beautiful little girls. Sophie, tween, is Madeline's half-sister, whom Madeline and Elliot adopted 3 years ago. They also have twin toddler girls, Charlotte and Penelope, and they're pregnant with their first son. Last year, Madeline and Elliot moved from their apartment down the street from me to a house about 3 hours away for Elliot's job. I try to visit them at least 2 weekends a month, and I just love where they live. It's this adorable little quiet beach town. I've been thinking about retiring there since Elliot and Madeline moved down there, but I decided after I found out Madeline and Elliot have another baby. I put in an offer on a little cottage on the beach, a 10-minute walk to Elliot and Madeline's house. My offer was accepted, so I decided to sit Emily and Joseph down to tell them about my plan. I told them I would sell the house this summer and move closer to Elliot and Madeline for an early retirement. I didn't want them to struggle to find a place to live, so I told them I would rent an apartment for them to share for 3 years or until Joseph graduates, whichever comes first. Neither will pay rent or any other expenses besides part of their groceries as long as they're still in school. I thought Joseph and Emily would be okay with this, but they were furious. Joseph is saying that I'm choosing Elliot and my grandkids over them, and Emily is claiming that I'm misusing their child support. Their dad agreed to pay until they graduate from college because I won't get a good apartment. I'm getting them a simple 2-bed, 1-bath apartment in good condition close to their school instead of a luxury 2-bed, 2-bath with access to pools, a gym and other nice amenities. I told her she was welcome to pay her tuition and living expenses on the $850 a month I got from her dad, but now she and Joseph won't speak to me. Elliot suggests that I could have given them more notice and talked to them about this before I bought the house, but I thought 3 months was plenty of time. I didn't move because Elliot wanted me to. I love the area that he moved to. It just worked out. Am I the idiot for moving to be closer to Elliot, Madeline and my grandchildren? Gee, I wonder why your children who live with you are shocked that you sold the house and are moving 3 hours away without mentioning it to them until it was a fait accompli. You are choosing your eldest and grandkids above them. Maybe not for the first time, I imagine. You sure like burning bridges, but as long as your needs are met, eh? You are the idiot. Yeah, this was poorly handled. Your children are all adults and you unilaterally decided on this move that is going to hugely affect all of their lives and then sprung it on them as a fait accompli. You are the idiot, and it has to be said, are you sure Elliot and Madeline even want you to move to their new town? Yeah, poorly handled all round and 100% golden child syndrome going on. What made your 2 other kids so angry isn't the move. It's that you clearly spent a bunch of time planning something major with one of your kids and never even gave them a heads up. Yeah, it's your life and your dollars and house, but if you want your kids to respect and trust you, you have to show them the same respect and trust. If my parents made a major life decision with only talking to one of my siblings and not all of us, I'd be so hurt. It shows clear favoritism and gives the view that their advice, thoughts and worth aren't as much. Not the idiot, not sure why you're getting so much grief. Most kids don't live at home during college and you're not even making them pay for housing. Maybe you could have mentioned that you were considering moving earlier, but you're not required to. Also, why on earth would a 19-year-old and 21-year-old prefer living with mum to living in a free apartment without mom? Enjoy the beach cottage and your grandkids. Disagree. OP's the idiot because Emily and Joseph will be moving out of the family home that I'm guessing they've lived in for a considerable amount of time, into a sterile apartment. OP has already said that they are the final say and that she is the one who has been looking for places for them without their involvement. It's just so sad. This could have been an exciting transition for everyone, and instead it's just OP steamrolling over all her children without any consideration of how they feel. I have a daughter, nearly adult. She has a rare condition called heterochromia, where you have 2 different eye colours in your eyes. For my daughter, one eye is green and the other is brown. So we plan to go to our friend's wedding for her remarriage in a couple of days, and let's just say she doesn't really like my daughter's eyes. She's called it weird and crazy and once asked me if I could change it. My daughter is good friends with her daughter, so she was fine with going. It was supposed to be a pretty small, exclusive wedding, and a lot of my friends and family would be there. My friend has a very old-school, traditional family, and they'll see things like different eye colours as distracting. I asked my daughter if she could wear brown contact lenses to the wedding this morning. She immediately got upset and said she didn't want to because the lenses were uncomfortable. I've had her wear them for photos and some events before, and she hates it, so I stopped. But I wanted to make an exception for this wedding. I really wanted her to go, and I didn't want to upset my friend. My wife is saying I should leave her alone and take it up with my friend. I'm wondering if she's right. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. That's messed up. As her father, you should be protecting her, not helping people bully and shame her over something she has no control over. They're her eyes. It's her body. She shouldn't wear crap she doesn't want to just to please people who are afraid of her getting attention. Her eyes make her unique. It's a cool thing. Let's switch this up a bit, shall we? First of all, her eye colour is something she has no control over. It's her natural eye colour. Would you make her dye her hair if she has red hair? And this family thought all people with red hair have bad tempers. If she needed glasses to see, would you make her wear contacts instead? If she had hearing loss, would you make her not use her hearing aid because the family might say something about her being different? Yes, I know those are different situations, but not really. In these instances, you would ask your daughter to make herself uncomfortable because this family can't deal with differences. You are the idiot, and what kind of parent cares more about the opinion of some clearly ridiculous people over the comfort of their own child? If I had a friend who said something about my child's appearance as crazy or weird, I don't think I'd be friends with that person anymore. Way to fail as a parent. She's called it weird and crazy and once asked me if I could change it. Jealousy. Beginning and end of it. Heterochromia looks attractive as heck and everyone knows it.